What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Podcast with Nick and Marty. We are back, officially, I guess.
Yeah, 2 weeks in a row, man. Look at us being consistent. I miss doing skits with you. I feel like we had like a golden era when I first moved here to LA, when we were just knocking out skits, and it was pretty fun. That was a good time.
Yeah. I like comedy, man. Comedy is definitely one of those things that like you actually have fun, on set.
Yeah.
And even when you're editing too, because you're just picking out like the best takes, and usually if like the person is pretty good, you're like having fun just watching the different takes and outtakes and bloopers and all that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we had a recipe, so when we went to shoot, we already knew what the edit was going to look like, so it makes the shoot easier because you already imagine how it's going to cut. That's why, months into doing all this every single day, we just found out a formula, and it just made the shoots much easier because instead of us recording every single thing, we already knew, like, okay, on the wide shots, we're only really going to show the beginning and the end and maybe this one part. So we're going to film the beginning, the end, and maybe that one part just in case we want to use it in post, as opposed to filming the whole thing on a wide and then moving on. There's so much footage that's unused, and it's just more stuff to watch, and it's going to take even longer in post.
Yeah. I miss that phase where we used to be at Marlon Webb's house like almost every day and just film like whoever skits, It would be like so many random people in there, like so many random people, like so many friendships actually started in that house. It's like so crazy. Yeah. That was definitely a golden age right there for sure. That
was like college. That felt like
it really did.
Influencer college.
Yeah. Like a dorm room or something.
Yeah, there was always people there. We would always end up doing something. We're always filming something, and everybody's super creative, so it's always fun, like you said. We'd come in and Marlon would have the wildest, most random ideas. We would film those. It would, my skits, your skits. I mean, we were really dropping skits together. We had Diamond skits. We had a bunch of different people's skits, and it just, that made the environment really just... That team effort of creating something, I feel like, is really fun. And that's what I really miss about it, because that's what brings in the laughters and the unforgettable moments and just the banter and the shit talking. And those were fun days. Those were the single non-parent days that we lived.
For real. Sometimes I would leave that place at like 3 o'clock in the morning and catch an Uber back home because I was like editing, because they had to like post the next morning, and it was just like so exhausting, but at the same time like so rewarding because like the pieces of content that we made would get seen like by so many fucking people, and so many people would fuck with it.
Yeah,
it was definitely
that one
cool.
Little Mexican spot, that hole in the wall, little walking distance from it. Remember that food was so bomb.
I wonder if it's still there.
I don't know. I haven't been around that Van Nuys area in a minute.
Yeah, it was definitely a cool spot to eat, and they would like be open pretty late too. So
the amount of times that they hooked us up with stuff, just because we would bring in certain creators, and they're like, "Oh, that's so and so. That's freaking awesome." They'll take pictures, and then they'll just give us free food.
Yeah. There's definitely perks into knowing other influencers and creators.
Yeah. Have you gotten free food before because people recognize who you are?
No. I'm not
really
known like that. Yeah.
No way.
Nah. I mean, in that area, yeah.
Loser.
In LA more so for sure, like with around that spot, but not anywhere outside of LA.
Yeah, I mean, where you are for sure would be way more difficult, but yeah, I've definitely gotten recognized a decent amount and gotten a lot of free food off of it.
Wow, that's freaking great.
Yeah. I remember when that one racist lady video went really viral.
Right.
And I was in Florida at some Mexican restaurant with one of my friends, and we had ordered a bunch of food already. And then the manager came up to us and she was like, "Hey, I just want to make sure that or just want to let you know that you're awesome and everything's comped for you and your friend. And I'm like, oh, hell yeah, that's awesome. That's a great feeling.
Oh my God.
But the opposite really feeling of that is when like a waiter recognizes you and then now you feel obligated to leave them a fatter tip.
Because they think you got money like that.
No, not even
just
got
because
money,
I have 1 million followers doesn't mean I have $1 million.
No, not necessarily. I mean, that's one way of looking at it, but I wouldn't necessarily say about the money. I would say more of they're like a fan, you know? So my way of giving back is I'm over here at a restaurant that you work at, and, you know, what's a few extra bucks, maybe an extra $10, $15 that's going to make them love you forever. You almost got like a fan for life in a way, you know?
Yeah, because if you tip bad, then they're going to stop fucking with you for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
And you don't want that.
Yeah.
Is there like a piece of content that you made that you think deserved more love than it got?
Yeah, of course, all the time. I feel like the content,
my videos,
the piece of content that I made that got a lot of love, I didn't care about, but the stuff that I put a lot of love into didn't get any love. And it's been like this forever.
Right. But like, is there a specific one that you're like, fuck, I thought this was going to do numbers, but it didn't?
I mean, yeah, for sure. I think one that we did that I thought was really going to do a lot of numbers was when we went to PA and we filmed a skit where your friend, when you think your friend is sus or your friend is acting sus, and I was the sus friend.
Marty!
Nick, what's up, dude?
I miss you so much.
Whoa. How was that?
What do you mean?
Never mind. Hey, man, come in, bro. Let me help you with your luggage.
Yeah, thanks, man.
That was weird.
I thought that video was absolutely genius. And peers, people that we know that are creators, that they watched it, they're like, dude, this is amazing. You know, but I think it was also ahead of its time because it was like a 1.5-minute skit, like full length. And then I had to trim it down and make it to, I think maybe almost a minute. But even at the minute, you're kind of trimming a lot of the things that takes up the steps to get to the jokes or make the jokes land that much harder. And yeah, I feel like if it were to be dropped, I don't know, maybe nowadays on YouTube, like longer form as opposed to shorter form, it could do better. But yeah, I don't know. That's one of the skits that I just feel like it was really well written, but it just didn't get the love that I think it deserved. But whatever, maybe there's just something wrong with it. And that's why I didn't get that much love, you know?
It's part of the game too, like doing something and you think it's going to go one way, but it goes another way. And like vice versa with like, you know, what you said before, like the skits that you don't care about end up getting views. And then like, you're like, how the hell did this happen? Because I didn't even think this was good. You know? So yeah, it's definitely,
I just feel like in today's creator culture, we are punished for being creative or trying to stand for something different, create something outside of the norm or outside of the box. And we're rewarded for that copy and paste culture. For example, there's 2 videos right now that are doing good numbers on my Instagram page, and both videos are copycat content. Sure, I made it my own, but it's still copycat content. It's just content that I found online and then just made a different version of it for myself.
Or like you see a meme that could be a video, basically.
Exactly. And then the stuff that has more originality, like the when your friend is acting sus, those things tend to not get as much views. You know, right. When you see that something's already doing well and you copy it, there's a big percentage, or there's a big chance that it's going to do well as well if you know kind of what you're doing.
Yeah. What part of yourself feels the most misunderstood right now?
What kind of fucking therapy question is that? Kind of fucking ChatGPT just looked up and read it off your screen question is that?
Can you just answer the
Oh
question,
yeah, we
bro?
got a podcast to film today. Let me go on ChatGPT and type in deep 10 questions.
That's not what I asked. Bro, I'll be so embarrassed if somebody actually looked up my ChatGPT history. I wouldn't know what to do.
Why?
I'll be fully exposed. Because I'd be asking the dumbest questions, bro, honestly. Even today, my girl was asking me, like, how to email something. Like, how would you say it, like, in an email of, like, something that she was trying to ask. And I really couldn't think of it, like, of how to actually say it. So I just asked ChatGPT, like, right in front of her. And then, like, she wrote the entire email. Like,
ChatGPT
in real time.
is ChatGPT is literally taking over Google. Like, Google is scared of ChatGPT because I don't use Google anymore, nowhere near as much as I used to. Nowadays, ChatGPT, it got all the answers for you. It's gonna collect all the information and put it in a nice list for you. Why would I go on Google, go through a bunch of ads, bunch of websites trying to find something? That's the old school way of doing things, I feel, nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I use ChatGPT for everything, bro. So many different things. But hey, can you answer the question though?
What was the question again?
What part of yourself feels the
Look
most
at you looking up
right now?
You say that.
I
Like,
had
what's the
to
question again?
reread
You're
it.
like,
It's on my text files here.
Yeah, my fucking Chat GPT text box. What is it? Sorry, go ahead.
Bro, you're really gonna make me ask again?
I am, because I wasn't listening. I interrupted you.
What part of yourself feels the most misunderstood right now?
What the fuck? Like, it's not even the fact that you got this question, it's the fact that you're like, this is gonna be a good question to ask him right now. Why the fuck am I gonna answer that question?
You want me to ask another one?
Yeah, ask me something better. Sure.
All right. What lesson?
Oh no.
These do feel fucking lame now that I'm reading it like out loud. Like when I first read it, I was like, "Oh, that's actually interesting." What lesson from your own parents are you still trying to unlearn?
I guess that one's a little bit better because it relates to the current moment in time where I'm a parent. I'm a new parent. How to say things in a nice manner without sounding like I'm nagging, or not even nagging, like, what's the word that I'm looking for? Where it sounds like I'm being aggressive saying something, you know, like, go get the ball, as opposed, hey, can you go get the ball? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to explain that, but that right there, like, I need to be nicer, because I feel like my mom, I'm pretty sure she might have been that way when I was first born, when I was a baby, but ever since a teenager, she's always been aggressive, like, oh, go do this, oh, go do that, what are you doing, nah. You know, and I catch myself a lot of times where I'm with my son and I'm like, and I'm like, bro, like, why am I doing this? You know, I don't need to do this.
Right.
It doesn't help, it makes it worse. Actually, he understands less and he doesn't want to do things when I'm being that way, when I, in a way, you know, you kind of have to like manipulate your child and make them do something in different ways, you know, like when I'm eating something and I'm trying to feed him, he doesn't want to eat it, so I start eating it, and I start saying, oh, this is delicious, this is the best thing I've ever had, and then he looks at it and he's like, oh wow, I want some of that too, you know. So it's like manipulating a child.
Sure. Damn, I forgot what I was gonna say about that. Oh, I was gonna say, like, maybe because, like, I do notice that there's a difference between like how our daughter treats me versus my wife. Like, because my wife, she like always asks her like what she wants to do, you know, like, oh, do you want to eat this? Or do you want to eat that? Or like, just always kind of giving her options, always asking questions, which is like super good hearted of her. But at the same time, like, I feel like Lily just takes advantage of that, and she goes and like says no. Like, but me, on the other hand, I'm like, this is what we're doing and this is what you got to do. Like, we're going to eat right now. We're going to, put your shoes on. We're leaving, like I have to be more firm with her, because if I just give her the option to like say no, then she's going to say no. And that's something that I told my wife she needs to work on, because like she'd be giving her way too many options. And I feel like
I think it's just different between a mom and a dad.
Yeah, no, but I feel like you're sort of right to be acting like that with Zayden, like I feel like you kind of need to, or else he'll like, if he has an option to like not do what you're telling him to or asking him to, then he's not going to do it, especially if he's not in the mood. Yeah.
And kids, they don't do it purposefully, but they'll take advantage of the situation. I'm like, they just know what they want and what they don't want, and they'll try to get what they want at all costs and not do what they don't want to do. So I do think it's important to have both. That's why God created a man and a woman, because we're different and we're going to parent our children different, and we're going to be stricter. Even though I agree with what you're saying, where I don't give them options, I don't really give my son options as well. It's like, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do it. You're going to either do it happy or you're going to do it crying, but you're going to do it, but it's just being patient, I think, because I don't think a lot of times I am patient. I think I'm trying to just get it done, or like, I just got to do this, I complete this task, that's it. But being more present, being more like, it's okay, like, I see that my son also responds really well to my wife and how she talks to him sweetly, in a way babies him, like I don't baby him, but I'm really playful with him. Like, I have those two sides where I can be more stern and I can be very, very playful, but I don't want to be as, it's not tough, but I don't want to be as just always like bugging and creating. Cause I remember I grew up and I was like, I don't even want to be around my mom, bro. Like, she's so like annoying and always nagging about something. I don't want to be that way. I want to be friends with my son. I want to be my son's basketball, soccer coach. So I'm going to be in his life all the time. I don't want to be nitpicking every little thing and like being on his ass 24/7. I guess that's what it is.
Yeah. I also heard that like if you're always like rushing them also to like get things done or leave the house or whatever, that kind of like creates some sort of anxiety with them as well, like constantly being rushed to do things. Because like a lot of parents, like my dad especially, bro, like my dad rushed with everything, everything needed to be like full speed. He had no patience to wait.
Yeah.
But I don't think it really necessarily like created anxiety in me, but it definitely had me with like a more sense of urgency. But like I feel like some kids would get anxious off of that.
Yeah,
for sure.
I could definitely see that. I mean, we're very much like our parents. We are very much like whoever we spent the most time with growing up, especially in the early ages, because we end up mirroring them. My son does things that me and my wife do that we didn't even necessarily teach him how to do. He just sees us doing it, and so he does it himself. Like, he grabs Q-tips, puts it in his ear, and tries to clean his ears. We never cleaned his ears, or at least not with Q-tips. So he sees us doing it, and then he does it himself. So it's kind of the same thing. They're going to pick up the good and the bad from what we do. And I guess that's what it is. A lot of times I could be very impatient with very minor things, and I need to be a lot more patient, I think.
Like what?
For like traffic, for example. There's nothing I could do about traffic or just bad drivers. And it is a very annoying thing. And I hate driving past somebody and then I'm like, okay, yeah, you were doing that because you were on your phone the whole time, or you just weren't paying attention. But what can I really control at that point,
Yeah. Is there anything you don't want Zayden to inherit from you?
Yeah, there's a lot of things. All my bad traits, I don't want him to inherit from me,
Like what?
Like what I just said, just lashing out,
Just being
angry.
impatient.
Yeah, being impatient with like minor things like traffic, or just having a bad day and now you're just impatient with everything. I feel like I'm pretty even keeled and I'm a pretty balanced person, pretty cup half full, but we're human, and there's days where, especially with little bit of sleep that you get as a parent and a new parent, it's very easy for you to wake up on the wrong side of the bed and just lash out at life and at everything around you just because you're upset and you're lacking sleep. But yeah, I want to do that for him, for myself, for my wife, for everybody.
Yeah. But there is a lot of stuff that he'll just catch on that you might try to hide, but they'll see you doing it and be like, huh, daddy does it, so I'm going to do it.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. What else ChatGPT question you got for me?
Let's see what else.
If you could press a button to erase your most painful memory, would you do it? And if it meant losing what you learned from it, would you still do it?
Wait, did you just make that up or did you read that?
No, I read that. I had some ChatGPT questions myself just in case.
Nah, bro, that's part of what makes life, That's part of like the lessons, bro. You need to have the hardships. I mean, even a movie, bro. If you just have a movie that there's no hard parts for a character to, make choices, then it's not a good movie. Like, you need to
I guess I get it, but it sounds like you haven't been through hard enough trauma. Like, imagine seeing your parents get executed in front of you. I'm sure that's something that you would take back and wouldn't want to see.
I'm reflecting my own personal life. I didn't see that happen in my life.
Right.
But
that's what I'm saying, though. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you wouldn't want to do that. Yeah, but even then,
bro, like, look at Batman. He saw his parents
fictional
get killed.
Character that.
Yeah, but I'm just comparing it to like what makes a good movie, or what makes a movie a good movie is like it's the hardships. It's like the difficulty that the characters go through, and I feel like this is kind of like the same with life.
You're that guy that, let's say, we're the Americans and we're about to rush the Germans. You're that guy that's in the ear of another soldier. It's like, dude, you got this. You're invincible. You're with the United States Army. You just go in there and you blast up everything, and you're going to be known as the guy that saved this war. And as soon as they stand up, they get shot 30 times in different directions.
That's horrible. I mean, I don't even think that's going to, I feel like just robots are going to start fighting each other now. It's not even like people anymore. People are getting scared of getting drafted, but I don't think that's going to happen, bro. There's too many technology now that they don't even have to do shit.
Yeah, but I think that is going to continue happening. One, because when a robot dies, who cares? If a robot got shot, a drone got shot, who cares? You're going to be like, I don't care about that. Why are we going to go into war? Now, if you just found out 450 Americans got killed because of some airstrike or something like that, you're going to care about it a little bit more. Like, it has a little bit more weight and more significant meaning when there's actual lives lost as opposed to robots and machines. So
maybe that's a good thing.
No, it's a good thing for us. I agree. But that's going to keep happening because the people in charge are going to use these things to manipulate the mass population.
Yeah, but even for them, like, if pretend like, America has a bunch of robots and they send it all to Iran. Iran has a bunch of robots and they all kill each other. It's kind of boring for them, There's no blood. So I feel like that's going to like just stop wars, no?
Nah. Because at the end of the day, it's not like Iran, or not even Iran, whatever terrorist organization, they don't want to kill your robots. They want to kill you. So they're not going to stop at just killing your robots. So you killing their robots isn't going to do anything. That's like, you got to create, it's like cutting the tree at the trunk as opposed to digging up the roots. You got to dig up the roots or else it's going to grow back again.
Is it?
Yeah.
Really? Like if you cut off a tree, it'll grow again?
I think it'll grow again, right? I mean, not all trees. It depends if the tree's like already dead and old, but if it's like a young tree and you cut it, I'm sure it'll grow back again.
Huh. Wow. Are you scared of getting drafted again with this whole war situation?
Nah, I can't get drafted.
You can't? Even though you're in the Navy?
I was in the Air Force, but I can't get drafted. It's already, my time has gone by.
Damn. Are you happy about that?
Sure.
Do you think we're going to get into World War or no?
I don't think so. Just because what is a world war? Like, I don't think there's going to be ever anything like a world war again where there's that many casualties. I think...
Well, it's when multiple nations are at war with each other.
I get that, but to me, it's not the same. It's not the same as what a world war used to mean back in the days before all this technology where there's just a lot of casualties. I think nowadays it's a lot of precise bombing about, military operations, but it's not going to be a bunch of Americans and, the Allies. Oh, hold on. Oh, damn. What the fuck?
Sorry, guys. The camera cut off and Nick was in the middle of talking about the war. You want to continue?
Yeah, I don't know what I was saying. Short-term memory.
You're basically saying that, like, they're just going to drop bombs and stuff now, so...
Yeah, I just think that there's going to be a lot less human casualty compared to World War I and World War II, because there's going to be a lot less human intervention. You're not going to drop soldiers off the beach in Normandy by, like, the tens of thousands, and there's not going to be that many
that's what I was
deaths.
saying in the beginning. Like, it's not going to be like... Because you displayed the scenario where I'll be next to someone telling them, hey, we can win this war. And I feel like that won't happen anymore. I think
that's
it's
literally
all
what I just said.
Machines.
But that's exactly
you're
what I'm
just saying what I said. You're
all
basically
right,
re-saying what I said, because the whole point of my conversation with you was that us humans aren't going to be fighting in war like we used to.
Fuck, it's your conversation. This is what makes you a narcissist. Instead of it being our conversation,
What?
It's my conversation with you.
That's not what
my question.
I didn't mean to say my conversation. I'm just saying that you're basically re-saying what I said, and now I'm
you're
saying what you
gaslighting me.
said.
You're gaslighting me right now.
Where do you feel the most at home, even if you are not physically there?
Can we stop with these horrible questions? Can you give me something that makes me makes it better, makes it, I don't know, just something thinks you outside the box. Like, what's something that you believe in that most people don't believe in? Most people. So it can't be believing the earth is flat, because that there's a large amount of people that believe that. But something that's different that you believe in that most people don't.
Bro, that's different as hell. A lot of people don't think that earth is flat.
Yeah, but there's a huge community of people that do think that.
Sure, but compared to the rest of the world?
Sure. What I'm saying is, what's something that doesn't have as big of a community that you believe in?
That BSV is Bitcoin.
Okay, yeah, there you go. That you have been preaching that for a while.
Yeah.
And you believe that Craig Wright is Satoshi. Is it Nakamoto?
I think it doesn't.
Nakamoto?
Nakamoto. I don't think it matters that he is or not. I just think he's like one of the smartest heads in the whole industry. Like, he's the one person that really made me rethink the whole concept of Bitcoin, because most people just they just treat it like a speculative, what's the word I'm looking for?
They treat it like a stock.
Yeah, they treat it like a stock, like that's going to go up and up and up and up with like no utility. They just have it sit in their fucking wallets and stuff and do nothing. I think that's so useless,
Right.
But he preaches about how it can actually be used in like today's world and like actually solve a lot of problems in our commerce, you know, like people in Bangladesh or Nigeria can actually participate in trade with the rest of the world because, you know, Visa and MasterCard are like so expensive with the whole fees and stuff that these people that earn only like $1 a day or $2 a day, they can't afford these fucking fees. And even with the mom and pop shops, like people that have like coffee shops or something, they have to pay these Visa and MasterCard fees. Starbucks probably doesn't because they probably negotiated a deal, but these people, they definitely get fucked, you know, by these big ass monopoly corporations.
Yeah, but there's fees incorporated with Bitcoin as well.
Not with BSV. It's so minuscule that you don't even notice. It's like a hundredth of a cent or a tenth of a cent. Like, it's ridiculous.
Right. BSV, there isn't, or I mean, there is, but it's small. But with actual Bitcoin, there is. And it's not, like, it's small, but it's not really small.
See, you just saying actual Bitcoin is part of the whole rest of the world.
I get it. What I'm saying is like the most popular Bitcoin, because BSV
just say BTC. I know it's considered Bitcoin, but just to differentiate the difference, like BTC, yeah. Like, what were you saying about it?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend your pussy, but just say BTC. Don't call it Bitcoin. That you're part of the problem.
It's because there's different versions of Bitcoin. You know?
I get it.
And
I get
BTC
it. And you're
is
right.
like the slow and retarded one.
I get it.
But anyways,
doing what you're doing, educating the public and educating people, even myself, even though I can't say I'm nowhere near cryptocurrency expert. You know, I used to dabble a lot more in cryptocurrency. Nowadays, I do a lot less, and I stopped kind of caring. But
I'm not an expert either, just to like get that clear. Like,
yes, but you're more into that world, and you're constantly following updates, and you can hold up a conversation pretty well. I can come out with questions and ask you certain things because I can't hold up the conversation that well because my knowledge is nowhere what yours is. So
sure.
with BSV, how can that become the main thing with people already associating the word Bitcoin with BTC?
Well, I think that's part of the marketing and branding. I think people that are actually like doing things with BSV, they're kind of like steering away from the name Bitcoin, even though it's exactly what the white paper describes. Like even at the WEF this year in Switzerland, the only blockchain that was discussed is BSV or was BSV.
And what is that?
It's basically like the world leaders of finance basically talking about new technologies and where the future is going to go with finance.
So they didn't mention anything about BTC?
I mean, casually, but not like any like people representing the actual blockchain there. Like the only people that were represented over there was the BSV, Bitcoin Association, which represent BSV blockchain, which I believe is the original design of Bitcoin.
So the white papers is what originally describes what the coin is meant to do. Yeah, right.
What the coin is. Mm-hmm. And then BTC doesn't follow the white paper anymore because they treat it like digital gold. You know, Satoshi said that it's never gonna hit a ceiling. It can always scale on chain by increasing the block sizes. Because right now the block size of BTC is only 1 megabyte.
Right,
and
that's
BSV
what I was going to say.
Unlimited.
So that limits, unless you're using a third party,
which defeats the whole purpose. Because then you have to trust that third party. You know, it's not like a trustless system.
But so then you can trust the entire system of BSV.
Just because like you can trust the entire system of the internet protocol. It's not in a central place. It's basically just a set of rules, a protocol, just like HTTP on the internet. You know, people don't use any other internet protocols. We all use the same internet. So there's no need to have any other internets.
And isn't it a little bit scary that Bitcoin or BSV, BTC could potentially be a one world currency, which also would invite a one world government or a new world order per se? Does that not kind of scare you as well, though?
Yeah.
Do you not think about that? Do you not associate both together?
I do, because like honestly, the technology is so advanced that all these currencies and cryptocurrencies can be hosted on the BSV blockchain. Like that's how capable it is. Like all these fucking currencies, from like even CBDC, you know, like something that people are so against, like a central bank digital currency, like can be hosted on the BSV blockchain because it can handle massive amounts of transactions per second. So it could happen, yeah. But I mean, I feel like that's the direction we're already going towards.
Yeah.
You know, like everything is already like, do you have cash on you? No one really carries cash anymore.
I do.
Yeah, but how often do you use? Like you probably just do it for safety, right?
Exactly. It's emergency cash. It's not cash to be constantly used.
Right. Same with me. And I feel like more and more we're just getting more and more digital, you know? But the cool thing about it is that it's actually digital cash. It's, you know, limited, and it's literally peer to peer, and I can transfer it to you with no people in between. And it can handle so many transactions per second that we don't, you know, necessarily have to pay a high fee or even wait for like the next block or whatever. Like BTC is ridiculous, bro. It can only like do 7 transactions per second. I don't even know how it's like so fucking overpriced right now. But I think it's gonna burst one day or another.
Yeah, I mean, it's what you mentioned in the beginning, where it gets treated like a stock. I think people that advocate for BSV, like you, are like Jehovah Witnesses. Like you guys are spreading a good message, but nobody really gives a fuck.
Yeah, for real. And I'm trying, bro. Like I even started a Twitter page where I grab Craig Wright's tweets and I like literally cloned his voice and put visuals behind it with music just to kind of like spread the message even more.
Wow.
Because like not everyone is going to read his like paragraph of tweets, you know? So I'm like over here making like visuals for what he's saying, and that way it's more digestible for like the masses, because I don't know, it feels like a good idea to me, especially because it's like a tech that I believe in. And honestly, like a lot of people like in the BTC community, Bitcoin community, they basically say that we're all like, you know, part of a cult and we're brainwashed. But I'm just trying to make this whole thing better, bro, because I feel like if BTC never got crippled, like we could have been in a much better position. We really could. Like,
you know, I'm
like,
not gonna lie though. What you just said, where you're grabbing Craig Wright's voice and making a video, sounds pretty culty to me. That's what Andrew Tate was doing with his guys.
Really? Andrew Tate?
Yeah.
What was he doing?
Andrew Tate was doing Hustler. He was doing Hustlers University, and he was basically getting people that bought into that to grab his content and repurpose it into TikTok, and there was people making money off of it.
At least they're making money.
And it's smart because they're making money, and on top of that, you're promoting him, you know, so it's a win-win for him.
Yeah, but honestly, bro, I don't even look at it as an investment. I don't. Like, I just look at a piece of tool that, like, I'm dying to come up with a business idea right now that actually utilizes microtransactions. Like, I want something like super, like, bro, think about Google, how boring it was when it first came out. Like, such a dumb, not even dumb, because it's smart as fuck, but I'm just saying, like, such a simple concept of you just searching things on the internet. Like, why couldn't anybody think of that before Google? You know, it's so simple.
I thought there was
I feel like
search engines before Google.
no, yeah, I think there was like Yahoo and all that stuff, but they're the ones that really like simplified stuff and made it popular. But I would love
Branding.
to come up with a business idea like that where it's just like so simple that you don't even have to tell people about BSV. It's just like a platform that is built on top of it, and it works flawlessly or cheaper than any other things that is out there right now.
Right.
You know, that's what I'm trying to come up with like right now, because I don't look at it like, oh, I'm gonna buy this amount of BSV and hopefully it goes up. Like, that's not the mentality that the people that believe in BSV have. Like, they're all about just using the coin, not hoarding it.
Yeah. Yeah. Utilizing it. Yeah, that makes sense. And I mean, honestly, it sounds like BSV has a really good community of people that do believe in it. And I do honestly, I've always said that Bitcoin isn't the answer. Bitcoin is like the starter, and then the actual answers, the ones that are really going to take over and be a difference maker, is right behind it. And I do listening to you, I do believe in BSV.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, BSV follows the exact protocol that the white paper described. So it is Bitcoin, you know? It's as described in the white paper. So, like, everything else is just noise. BSV
I think it needs to
Bitcoin.
drive away from the name Bitcoin. I think that's hurting it.
And that's what people are already doing. Like, people that are like in the Bitcoin Association, like people that like actually educate other governments about the technology, they're like already steering away from the name Bitcoin. They're just calling it BSV blockchain, but at the end of the day, it's still Bitcoin.
Yeah, even like BSV blockchain sounds a little bit too complex. I don't know. I just feel like you need to dumb it down, because you're not going to have that much time to explain this to people. People need to understand this in a 30-second digestible video per se, or like in a 30-second digestible conversation. So I think by already changing the name, because just to so like BSV blockchain, that like there's too many things. I don't know, like Bitcoin, like bit is something that's on the internet, or it's part of like
it's
technology, information, exactly. And then coin,
Data.
Currency, you know, beautiful name.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it needs something of that sort as well. Right. Well, yeah.
Or Satoshi. Nah, but I don't know if he's actually Satoshi. I just know that he's one of the smartest heads in the business, bro. Like, not in the business, but in the space, because I've been following Bitcoin since like 2015 when it was like $200. You know, there was a point in time where I was living in LA, and I don't even know if I should be saying this, but like, I lived off of Bitcoin for like 8 months when there was like no income coming in, you know, because it went up in price, and I was just, yeah, for real. RS just knocks on my door, but it definitely helped me because, you know, the price went up and stuff, but then like the fees started getting ridiculous. I was paying like $20 fees just to transfer from my Coinbase to my bank account, or, you know, it was fucking stupid. I was like, this is dumb. And then that's when I started using Bitcoin Cash, which is BCH. And then that also, like, they kind of stalled out, you know, they only kept it at 32 megabytes per block. And I was like, this is dumb. This is not ready for real world adoption. And BSV is the only one that like said, hey, look, these blocks needs to be unlimited. And a lot of people say that like, oh, BSV is centralized because there's not that many miners out there, but that's because the blocks are so huge. You actually need like real infrastructure to be able to compete, you know. So once like people start hopping onto this whole technology, there's gonna be other companies and other big corporations that's going to hop on and actually invest hundreds of millions of dollars on mining farms and stuff to actually compete, you know?
Right.
It's because it's not high demanded right now. So that's why there's only a few miners.
Yeah.
But BTC, like, they think they can fucking do it from home. Like, that's so dumb. That's so stupid. Like, how are you ready for real world adoption and you're over here mining blocks from home? Like, this is something that you need to leave it to the professionals, you know?
Yeah, I remember
Joe Schmo at their fucking basement.
Yeah, I remember at one point you could mine it from, I mean, I'm sure you still can, but you could mine it from your phone. And it's like the dumbest thing. It takes like days to make a couple of cents. And I remember doing that back in the days.
Yeah. Fucking retarded, bro. I swear. But, yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna make an impact in the world one day, but I believe in it. I really think it's like the only blockchain that is worth looking at, because everything else is just noise to me. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well,
What about
when's the last time you felt truly alive? Like truly alive, like adrenaline filled, like this feels great. Excluding
probably
weed.
when we excluding weed? Why weed makes you feel alive?
It doesn't? Like you smoke and you look up and you're like, wow, what a beautiful day. It just makes you feel alive.
It makes me a little bit like anxious, which I guess contributes to me like knowing the fact that I'm living, you know, because if I wasn't feeling shit, then I'll be dead. But I'm just saying, like, I don't know about you, but it definitely makes me a little bit like it feels like my heart is kind of beating faster.
It is.
So like, oh, it is?
Yeah, of course.
But like, even like I get sort of like slightly paranoid with things, you know, even like when I'm chill at home by myself, I still kind of like get a little bit somewhat paranoid, like, because it feels like my heart is just racing. But
yes,
aside from that, like
real
world like experience that made me feel alive was probably when we went to Zion and rappelled 300 feet down. That was something that I couldn't even express, bro. Like I was just like, it's either going down on this rope or just dying, you know. It's like one of those life risks that, like, it's life or death, really.
Yeah.
You
Bro,
know,
you were
and then,
so
like,
scared.
The other time,
you were literally grinding on the rock. You didn't even put your leg on the rock.
Terrified. I was humping that fucking rock, bro. I didn't want to let go of it.
Oh yeah, but
and people are doing it with like such casualty too, like the more experienced climbers or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, they're used to it. But I mean, I feel you. One of the scariest things I've ever done for sure was putting my legs on that mountain side and literally putting my back to nothing. Like to, what was it? 300 or 400
pushing
feet?
Away. Yeah, it was like 300 feet down. Like pushing away from the rock.
Yeah, exactly. That was scary as balls. I was like, yo, this is insane. For sure.
Yeah. That was definitely the last time that like it made me like truly feel alive. And like the time before that was definitely skydiving too. Just like one of those life or death moments, bro, honestly. Like that's why I kind of like it, because it makes you feel like, it makes you appreciate life too, you know? It makes you feel super alive. Even though you could die in that scenario. Like,
yeah, maybe that's why. Maybe that's why you're like super aware, because it's like I could potentially die right here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There was another time too that I almost got ran over by a car, like going full speed, bro. It was pretty fucking gnarly. But I was drunk and I was just like kind of acting a fool on the sidewalk and shit. And I was about to cross the street without looking, and then like for some reason I stopped, or I don't know if someone stopped me, and I just like stopped like last second. The car just right in front of me, and I was like, oh my god, if I continued on, I would have died for sure.
Damn, when was this?
This was back in Florida, when we used to live in Florida. Philip was there, our friend Philip. I don't know if he's the one that stopped me.
I remember that happening to you multiple times. Not like the car wasn't going. Yeah, the car wasn't going full speed like that, but there was multiple times where you're just acting an idiot, or you're recording us, so you're walking backwards, and then me or Larry would like have to grab you because you're about to get ran over or like fall into something.
Yeah, I've always been a little reckless when it came to drinking. Yeah, I guess you could call it that.
Do you drink still?
occasionally.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm on
after
a
that
sober
one time,
streak, really.
I feel that because I remember that time that you said that kind of really changed everything when you drank a lot. Then you woke up next to that dude naked, and you were like, "Yeah, I don't think I could be drinking like that anymore." And I feel you.
Fake news. That didn't happen. I don't know what you're talking about.
So you're on a sober
But-
streak?
I mean, yes and no. Like, I haven't gotten drunk in a while, but I do drink, a beer or a cocktail every now and then, like when I go out. But I haven't gotten drunk in a pretty long time. I think the last time I got drunk was like last summer, where we were on a lazy river out here. And I just had like 6 fucking White Claws. White Claws be getting me, bro. I can have 6 beers and I'll feel nothing, but White Claws is like sneaks up on me.
Really?
Yeah, dude. And I don't even feel the alcohol.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like water. It's like hydration with alcohol.
Yeah, but there's definitely liquor in there because I be getting turned up, bro. I drink like 3 of those and I'm already feeling tipsy.
Yeah, I don't remember the last time I got drunk, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often. It just happened because we're, out having fun on a lazy river. Speaking of which,
That sounds like
that shit, it's so dope, bro. You should definitely come here one day and do that. We're going to do it next month when my mom comes over for her birthday.
Yeah, that sounds like a good time, honestly. Just chill.
Yeah.
Especially now that you have
just
kids,
chill
you're
at the
like, I
creek.
just want to do stuff that's chill. Like, I don't want to do anything too crazy. I just want to relax.
Yeah, it really is just that. Like, you just sit in the freaking buoy and enjoy like a 3-hour ride in nature, basically.
That's lit.
Yeah. And you just drink, play music, have fun.
Your mom's going to
shit.
visit you next month. My mom's going to visit me next month.
July,
July.
the month of travel.
Yeah. You doing anything for July 4th? Anything fun?
Probably some burgers. We'll stay
Shoot
at
some
the
guns?
house. Damn, that would actually be fun. Not a bad idea. Damn, we should totally do that.
Go to
I'm gonna look into it.
Go to a range?
Yeah, like go to a gun range and shoot some guns on 4th of July. Can't get more American than that.
I feel like it'll be pretty packed, but that does sound pretty fun.
Maybe I gotta reserve it like ahead of time.
Do you're gonna rent guns though?
Yeah, I don't have guns.
Hmm.
Do you?
Plead the fifth.
I think that's a good time to end this podcast. Is there anything else you want? I'm sure you can hear Lily screaming out here in the hallway.
Hey man, you're a dad, dude. Like, that's life.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Yep. Is there anything else you want to say before we sign off?
You're the man, and I hope that Craig Wright really is Toshi Nakamoto.
I mean, he went to court for it, trying to prove it, and was pretty unsuccessful.
He lost, didn't he? Right, that's what I was gonna say.
But who knows what's really going on behind the scenes, man. All I know is that it doesn't matter if he is or not. I think BSV works amazing. It's flawless, and it's like the perfect blockchain to be able to basically host a bunch of applications on top of it, just like the internet.
Well, I should invest in more BSV.
Invest in businesses that utilizes BSV. That's where the profit is at.
Is it though?
I mean, not so much because the adoption.
That's where
is
the
pretty
risk
low,
is
but-
at.
Sure, yeah, but you don't need a lot of BSV in order to do things on it. Like, bro, one BSV, just like BTC, can be split up into 100 million times, which are called Satoshis. With one Satoshi on the BSV blockchain, you could do so much. You can like literally hold a house deed on one Satoshi.
Yeah.
Like have
Yeah,
it verifiable
that's the future,
on the
though.
blockchain. Yeah, exactly.
That's for sure the future.
You know, like It could be like a company that utilizes microtransactions that holds like medical records. So
Right.
you can actually like have the hospital verify if it's really you, or, you know, see what you already have in your DNA or in your history.
Yeah,
So many things can happen, bro.
That's so dope. Yeah, that when the technology catches up to that type of stuff, or I mean, the systems implement that technology, because the technology is technically already there.
Yeah, it's already
I feel
there.
like-
It's just like the business. It's just businesses that need to emerge, bro. Businesses that need to just build and create, you know? Even like the voting system, bro. Like, we're so outdated when it comes to that. Who the fuck mails in ballots, bro? Like,
I think
that's
they do
so
that shit on
dumb.
purpose.
I get it, but like, it could be like something so much more efficient using the BSV blockchain. Plus, it's like transparent. You can see it, you know? Like, you're not, like, it's private. It's not going to show your name in the blockchain, but it's verifiable, you know, like
Right.
like you can use that and actually know it's like someone real.
But it
Like,
will
build a
show your
system
name
that-
in the block system. In the
No,
blockchain.
not on the blockchain. It'll just show you your wallet number, but that wallet number can be registered
I
to
feel
you.
like in the future, if that were to happen, there would eventually be a huge data leak and people's votes would get out for sure.
Not in the BSV blockchain, bro. It hasn't been broken.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. It
And
hasn't
this
been
whole
broken
quantum
yet,
computer shit, and I don't
That's
think
true.
it will, bro, because like it's been proven in time to outlast. It's been out since 2008, and no one still hasn't hacked any Bitcoin, you know, unless like, you know, the private seeds or whatnot, but that's like the user's fault, not the actual system that got broken into.
Right.
And I don't think quantum computers like is even a thing. People are scared of that shit, and I don't even think it's like a threat, really. Like, it does not exist.
Now-
It's a fucking myth.
Now,
Bro.
in like 20, 30 years, 40 years, like, bro, it'll eventually get hacked is what I'm saying. Not to say that the technology is bad, but eventually technology gets outdated. Like, the technology that we currently have when it first came out was kind of the same thing. Like, oh, this is like proof. Like, there's no thieves that's going to get around this. And then eventually people find ways.
Maybe it could happen, but I just don't believe in the whole quantum computing thing. Like, if you really look into it, I think it's just like something to make people scared, to make people feel fear. Honestly, like, I don't think it's anything of threat.
I mean, they have quantum computers though.
They don't. They claim they do, but they don't. If you really look, like, Craig Wright talked about this.
I thought they
I'll
did.
show
I
you-
thought isn't it Google that has one?
Yeah, but they were able to like achieve it for like a split of a second or something like that. It wasn't something that's actually operational.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so just because they hit that one mark for like a split second, they're like, oh yeah, we have quantum computer. I'll show you a video that I made of Craig Wright talking about it. It's all bogus, man.
Yeah, actually, that's interesting. That I do want to see that. Well, Marty, stop fucking talking about Craig Wright and log us off, man. God damn it.
A lot of people are probably gonna tune off as soon as I mention
They're like-
BSV, bro. I'm
Like,
sorry,
what the fuck
guys.
does this guy know?
I know. Let's just skip to the next episode. You'll be more entertained, hopefully. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching or listening to the podcast with Nick and Marty. I appreciate everyone who tunes in and sticks around. If you stuck around until now, you should like leave a comment. What should they say in the comment?
If you say I love Marty in the comments, Marty's gonna give you a blowjob.
No, it's more to like, so we know people watched it until now, till the end.
Yeah, but if you give them a blowjob, then they're gonna be fans forever. And
that's
then
not
they're gonna
happen.
comment that. Why not?
No. It's just so they show that they listen to the whole thing.
Dude, do you not want to grow this channel? Like, I'm pretty sure if you say this and people comment it and you blow them off, they'll be down to watch more episodes.
No, that's not gonna happen. Guys, if you watched it until now, just say Nick is stupid.
I don't want to fucking watch till now.
Then
I wouldn't watch till now.
That you watched.
But if I knew I was getting
a
a blowjob, I would watch it till the end.
All right, you know what,
That's
guys? Just
fucking
comment whatever
common
you
sense.
want. You know, just let us know that you watched it till the end. All right, I just want to know like how many of you stuck around, because once we got into this whole blockchain topic, I'm sure a lot of people tuned out, because that's something that, like you said, not a lot of people are interested in. Compared
All
to
right,
the
so
rest
next
of the world.
week we're gonna get a guest. We're gonna get somebody.
Damn, you're saying I'm boring?
Yeah. We gotta off balance this fucking blockchain episode with the guest, because you don't want to suck any dick.
Bro, that's not what makes an episode good, bro. Like,
Yeah, but that's what makes loyal fans.
I just want us to banter, like, back and forth, you know, have like a casual conversation, not come up with like some ChatGPT fucking bullshit questions.
Are you saying this to yourself?
All right, guys, thank you so much for watching the podcast again. Comment if you stayed until now, and
God damn, how many more times are you gonna tell him that?
Bro, let me just sign off. Jesus.
Just fucking shut it off. I'm done. I'm canceling this shit. Bye.